buttons. All right.
Being broke ain't all bad. We know that bit's coming in from my end. I am your host, Jeremy Webb, and joining me again this week is our Taiwan correspondent, Mr. Noah Hunnam.
Hey, everyone. Hey again.
How you been, man? It's once again our time of the year where we do another online one after saying very specifically that we were going to do one in person. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. We only had about 20 days of opportunity to hook one up in person. But, well, that's how it goes, Jezza. That's how it goes.
It just had too much of a working while you're on holiday vibe.
Well, thank you for saying that just in case my boss tunes in. I was working very fucking hard.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you were already working on holidays. So it's like, hey, man, do you want to add my work in as well?
Oh, hell, this isn't work.
But we got to set it up and shit when it's in person. Here it's just turning the cameras on instead of just being on Discord.
I love how we've got to troubleshoot this shit for like 10 minutes every single time.
Especially because we're like, okay, we'll go the simple option this time. We'll just keep it. Don't worry about the fucking external mics and stuff. We'll just go through the system. And then, of course, that fucks up. And then I forget half the things. And then, of course, I was up till 5 a.m. So my fucking poop schedule's out of fucking whack. So it's like, all right, let's do something at 3 p.m. It's like, I've got to take my like morning shit.
How regular are you on a, once you're settled into routine?
Well, I get up at 7, and it's sort of like 7 o'clock's that. Once Tiff heads out, I'll have breakfast because usually she's in more of a rush. And then so it's just sort of like that, and then first cigarette, and then it's like, I don't want to go quite back to work yet. So. And then once you're doing it in that enough, you end up locking into a cycle of some sort.
Yeah, I reckon. I remember thinking, like, when I was younger, my dad said he's, like, perfectly regular with these shits. And I asked my mum about it. I'm like, are all adults like that? She's like, no. And I thought it was weird. And then now I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a man thing. I don't know. Fucking perfectly regular. Just in the mornings. And if something upsets it and I miss it, it is not good. Just disaster.
No, mine will just be out of nowhere.
Yeah. No.
It's like there's a regular
routine,
time where it'll probably be like, because that's when I've eaten, and it's like all of those signs, but it just might be, I'll just be out somewhere and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a sharp pain that I need to deal with.
Oh, I'm not sure if it should hurt. You a coffee drinker?
Nah.
Oh, well, that's the cheat code for regularity.
Coffee, because that'd be a bit bad on your stomach.
Is that full strength? We got max sugar there.
Man, what is the point of taking sugar out of a fucking caffeine like tin that you're forcing down your throat?
Well, I can tell you why I do. It's because my fat ass is fucking fat enough already. Hello.
Man, I hate Red Bull.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got like a weird, this is going to sound stupid. It feels like it's got a fake Hubba Bubba taste.
Yeah. I dig it.
You know,
that's why I love
those Hubba Bubba trees it's so much better when you get the fresh rope straight off the branch. But yeah, that's why I don't like it, because it's like a weird, for me, it's like when, like, I don't like fruit in water. You know, people are just like, yeah, here's water, but I'm just going to keep fruit floating in it. I'm like, nah, can't have it. To me, that looks like it's like fermenting, like it's been left in a puddle. It feels like the fruit in there is going to be going weird and bad and soft, and then you're drinking it. It's like, it's trash water.
No, I definitely fuck with very mildly flavored water. Hell, I even don't turn my nose up at when some toffee motherfuckers add cucumber into the water. You know, I'm like, I kind of get it.
Look, I'll drink what it's there because I'm not going to go to a place and complain about the water. It's like, that's a bit something. But to me, having that little bit of flavor is the same as when, like, you've got a car radio just sort of going on. You know, you're driving around, you're trying to talk to somebody, and the radio's there where it's not quite loud enough where you can hear it, but it's also just loud enough that there is a noise. I hate that, like, where I can't hear something. Can't wait to be old and going deaf and just being just furious all the time.
Yeah.
Can't wait to be an angry old man.
Dude, I think about this all the time as well. I can't wait to get old to have an excuse to like not give a fuck in public.
I mean, I'm not giving a fuck now, but it's
Yeah.
when I'm old, I can be like angrier about it.
Right, it's like
more,
a different
more
level.
vocal.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now it's like, right now, kicking my ass is kicking my ass.
Mm.
But once I become an old man, it's like, you really going to commit murder?
Well,
Because you can't just punch an old man.
yeah, exactly.
You're just kicking around with this confidence that's the fucking sword of Damocles of the old. It's
Wonder
like
what
you can
age-
say whatever you want.
What age do you become unhittable? You know, like
That's a good point.
if you had a 60-year-old up in your grill, you know,
Oh, I'd hit him.
you reckon?
like-
That's like on the
Oh, yeah.
edge, I think. It'd be getting there.
It'd be pretty close. If you hit 70, absolutely. So
yeah.
I think
We can definitely all agree, though.
62.
There's an age that you
Yes.
get to where it's
I'd
like,
say in
I'm
terms of an
untouchable.
average bloke, 62
Yeah.
would be your cutoff. Because, like, that's still pretty much 60, but I wouldn't go, like, above 60.
Mm.
Because, like, once you're at 65, you're like, okay, that guy's starting to push 70. It's like, you know, statistically, how close is he to straight up borrowed time these days?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I suppose that's been stretching out. Because this is my thing. When I was a kid, the concept of like a 50 or 60-year-old wasn't just like an older adult. It's like they're literally falling to pieces.
yeah.
You know, just poverty-stricken family, fucking some old cunt who used to work on the railway forever. It's like
Yeah,
his
no shit.
spine's been 90 degrees for years.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's 52.
Right. I mean, people definitely used to fucking age way quicker. I mean, like, lead in the gasoline and all this other fucking shit and food and crap. And
I just love the smell at the petrol station
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a kid.
also, everyone chain smoking diaries, which I know
Mm-hmm.
we've had our bouts with, but not like the older generation.
Mate, I'm still
Holy
in the
shit.
fucking ring.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, you'd just be like soaking it in. Like people in the office would be fucking chuffing darts, so you're always getting that little bit of like contact skin fucking up.
Up in the
Get on
planes where you're locked in.
get jet blasted by fucking cigarettes.
Well, there is the one, like, I see this pictures and stuff pop up every now and again. When you see the old sporting photos that have that really iconic haze, that blue glow.
Oh yeah.
It's not the photography, it's indoor smoking.
Oh really? What the
Like, the whole reason those things look so cool is because, like, cigarette smoke was filling the stadium.
Yeah.
And then that's getting hit with all the stadium lights. And that's why you get this, like, awesome glow going on.
Huh.
While, like, the no photos look real crisp and stuff. It's not just like, yeah, the cameras are better, but
Hmm.
like there's still a way to get that quality. Like
Yeah.
when people film stuff on like full cinema film, that's done to resolution that you'll never get to see.
Yeah. Well, the more you learn. Look at this. This is a fucking educational podcast now, Jezza.
Because yeah, if you look at like Dr. J or Wilt Chamberlain pictures, or the iconic ones of Muhammad Ali that are like the more, not just him in the ring. Well, actually, even the famous one of him in the ring, just like standing over the arm across, like that one. If it's got enough of the background there, you see that haze. And there's no way to really recreate it unless you go mad with the fog machine, which I reckon is just about as bad. To me, that sounds like just pumping plastic into people if you go too hard on it.
Wow.
Even though it's like just this is just a hidden campaign against vapes.
Yeah.
It's not real. Go back to real smoke in the stadium. But I think the thing, that was still the era where the players would light up a dart. Yeah.
Oh, probably, yeah. I mean, have you seen fucking clips of like Australian sports people in the 70s and 80s and shit, and you just see them drinking beers down in the fucking
Yeah.
on the side of the field between their
Absolutely,
like,
mate.
batting
We've
innings or whatever.
we've already fucking bowled. Like,
yeah.
I'm,
Or
I'm
some guy
11th
just
on the fucking batting.
mashing a
Like,
pie down with a cigarette in his hand, and then he goes out and fucking gets stumped, and you're like,
oh, people
What do we
gave
expect
Warnie
here?
shit. People gave Warnie shit for being like that, and it's like, nah, he's just carried on the tradition. You guys are always saying about, in every sport, they're saying the last generation was better or more interesting. It's
right.
Yeah, but as soon as somebody modern tries to continue doing that,
Yeah.
nah,
Plus,
can't have it.
It's that fucking state-based learning, like if Warnie's practicing taking wickets 2 beers deep with a pie and a dart in his hand, that's how he performs. So you can't fuck with that on the day.
You play the way you practice. Everybody knows this. So, I remember I was talking to somebody about this last night, actually, when I went and played golf with a couple of my comedy mates who were good at golf, and I was about. So that was sort of how that came about. But we used to play golf in Benalla because there's nothing else there except the golf course on the way out of town.
I thought this was a podcast about growing up poor, Jezza. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Fucking golf.
The golf course was like $12. Because you just get whatever clubs that somebody had. You'd either borrow it or Op Shop always had them.
Yeah.
So you'd get a bunch of $4 clubs, just a driver that's almost the right size, a big iron, little iron, and a putter, and you're off.
Yeah.
And then because it's Benalla, so we knew the guys who were working in the fucking kiosk. So then, of course, they give us the carts for free.
Oh,
so it's just basically it was a drinking exercise.
Yeah.
But with a game involved. Because I remember Dylan, my little brother, he borrowed / started using the cheapest fuck clubs that I'd bought and then left at home. And he's like, I opened one side of it and there was 2 crownies just in a pocket in one of the thing. I'm like, ugh. And he goes, yeah, but it was worse when I found the goon bag in with all the balls. And that had to be 5 years old.
Were the crownies open or they were just
fresh and ready to go?
Break glass in case of emergency. You're out on the 14th green and you fucking drying out. You crack open a 6-month-old
that was
warm
just
crown.
The next 2. We were drinking crownies the whole way.
Oh, God.
And then just it was a rule where we were just hitting the goon sack at every hole. It was just an excuse to drink while still being allowed to drive. Because you get the golf carts and just absolutely tear through with those things.
Yeah.
My mate Brad, who you've definitely heard about before, just watching him crash that thing into poles as the method of stopping when giving it back to the kiosk.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, come over and park here. Just comes in too quick and smashes into a pole, then walks out, gives him the keys.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Take his no deposit?
Oh, God, the amount of fucking crashes those Benalla public golf court carts have been through is...
Well, man, at exactly
probably
the
on
age
another level.
where we were looking for places to drink that weren't at home was when Jackass was the most popular. And they literally did the things with the golf carts. So the whole time we're just being teenage boys just fighting the urge to do the exact same thing. But I think we naturally came to the realization where if we do that here, everyone knows who we are, and this is the only golf course. So it's just so obvious that it was us. There's no getting out of it. We can't be like the Jackass guys, put on a fucking dress and then just never go to that golf course again. Just avoid everybody there. It's we're going to be a spectacle.
No doubt.
You're getting in the Benalla ensign for sure.
Yeah. You reckon Jackass could exist today? Or do we move past it as a society,
It's weird because first you'd have to imagine a situation where it never happened, which is the more difficult bit. Because I think if it doesn't happen, the void because that came up sort of connected to the X Games type thing. So your BMX, skateboarding, whatever those sports are called. I can't remember. There's a group term for them.
Yeah, X Games, I'll take that.
Yeah. Are they extreme sports, or was that just a name that brands started dubbing them? Extreme without an E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
The most popular 80s branding technique is the letter X.
Yeah. You know what? I just had a thought. I think here's probably why Jackass can't exist, right? Because if you think about those Jackass films or whatever the fuck they used to drop,
Yeah.
let's say it's 90 minutes, and there's probably a stunt every like 5 minutes or some shit, and you probably get 15 or whatever in your on your DVD that you purchase for $9 at JB, and it's like it'll be
Hey, you
four and
left
a
it
half
late.
minutes.
You haven't got the $30 brand new.
Yeah, it'd be like 4.5 minutes of setup and talking shit, and then what is essentially an Instagram reel or a TikTok at
Yep.
the end. So we've advanced as a society. We've just thrown out all the shit, and now you can just be like getting someone hit in the nuts every 10 seconds. You know, like you just
Yeah, once
cut
the
out all the
algorithm
filler.
catches on to that's what you're hunting for.
Yeah.
Nut shot, nut shot, nut
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Titties, nut shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of got that because we're talking about Who Dares Wins pretty much every time we're on here. It really falls into one of those class of shows where it's like either that kind of entertainment sort of saw what these did, like those kinds of shows, and like sort of fucking what's the word? Like rendered it down to just the 10-second reels. Or it's just one of those scenarios where they happen to nail the format before the medium for people to consume it that way existed.
Let's go further. I think Who Dares Wins influence the future of media consumption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like they've often said, like the Jackass guys have often quoted Mike Whitney as one of their like heroes that set him up for actually making the Jackass films.
Yeah. And like
Don't know
the
if you
rest
heard
of
that
us,
one.
they were also into Tanya.
Yeah, like every person,
Yeah.
every person, every gender, every fucking sexual preference, all of it points to Tanya Zayed.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
man. You just reminded me, fucking, I'm still upset that Mike's agent never got back. Or Mike himself. I mean, he must be fully retired now.
He has been doing. No. I've seen him on podcasts recently. There was a clip that I saw coming around. I can't remember the name of the pod, but I don't think anybody's going to listen to this and get offended, because they're a podcast that gets Mike Whitney on it.
Yeah.
But he was on there and he was telling people, he was talking about what got the show cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't that people didn't like it or ratings or anything. It was just insurance costs.
Oh, yeah.
Because the stunts had to keep one-upping each other.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, by this season 3, like the stunts from season 1 that were the big stunts were now the small $50 bets in the other one.
Right. Well, dude, I remember, well, there's only 4 of them online. It's not that hard to find. One of them was like, let's have a road train, you know, like a three carry fucking B double thing, whatever.
Lorry.
And the person had to start on the back holding onto the ladder, climb on top of the fucking third trailer, walk along it, climb down the ladder, cross to the ladder of the middle fucking trailer,
and just
then
like
up and down all the way to the front. And the fucking thing is driving along. I mean, it was probably Stewart Highway, Northern Territory, dead straight forever, no cars, who gives a shit? But like, still, you've got a fucking random member of the public, not really trained.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? The guy who had the fucking huge jacked arms gave him a 20-minute demo.
Sure, but man, if they slip and fall and go under a fucking road train, I mean, like,
well, yeah, and then you consider what's that going to cost?
Yeah,
exactly. And who's agreeing to cover it?
I don't know.
You're just like, oh, you're giving me like what 40% chance of just killing a man,
right? You know, we got to go back to this shit. I mean, society was just different, built different back then. We've ruined it by too many idiots dying in too many stupid ways. Like,
no, we've ruined because there's like the internet now and people aren't as bored.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, Horsham Benalla, it's like if there's nothing out there, people get creative and destructive.
Oh yeah.
And that's great to put on film, you know.
Right.
So
right,
it's,
right.
I think it's just what's available to you. Because like I don't think people in Benalla would be down at the lake just tearing up the new fake grass and throwing it on the road if there's like an arcade or a pool hall or just a pub open past midnight.
Yeah, fair true. But I think
boredom breeds a lot of interesting ideas.
Right. But we've just gone too far with putting the training wheels on society, you know? Like, where's...
So you're going with the
my-
mentality of let's lose a few.
Yeah, you know, like, we got to sacrifice a few people in society to still be allowed our fun.
I can't remember who was the whole thing saying that, but you look at the number of like labels you read on things, and you're just like, if someone does this, I don't want them around.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, when are we going to start seeing like? In fact, I've never read the little stickers that come on cutlery. You know, like you get those little tags that comes on a fork and you tear it off. It's like barcode on one side. I reckon on the other side, I wouldn't be surprised if it had like "do not put in microwave."
Yeah.
Like somewhere on the packet of a set of forks. And it's like, no, you've ruined the internet. Like the fun is telling people to do stupid shit and then being too stupid to know not to do it.
Yeah. Plus, that's a lesson we all learned ourselves at some point.
Yeah.
Putting metal in the microwave and being like, yeah, this doesn't look right. Or
You
sound
should teach
right.
a class on these things, just like at a community council, like something like that. I'll just call it Delete System 32 101.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna call you out for being a rich man who's made it here, Jezza. What are you
What you
doing
got?
buying cutlery? Holy shit.
I was using it as an example, man.
No, I'm kidding. But
Mate, if I need to show you the drawer now, it is a fucking monster of...
yeah,
There is
yeah,
no
yeah,
sets of anything. Occasionally, you'll get a couple of knives that are the same.
Right. You know, I've often thought, like, what would it be like to one day buy a 24-piece set and have 8 matching knives and 8 spoons and 8 forks all the same?
And just taking all the other ones out.
Yeah. And I
Taking
can
the
bet one
mishmash.
fucking thing for sure. I wouldn't get rid of the old ones, you know?
Yeah, there just would be a set in there.
Yeah.
It'd be like wine glasses. It's not in the regular rotation. You've still got all your fucked wine glasses. But if people come round,
Right.
you've got 6 of them ready to go.
Right.
See, that's one I do feel paranoid about, the cutlery drawer, is that if we've got people coming around, or even if you're just setting the table for people, if you give not everyone the same knife, it's like, that means you've given somebody the shit knife.
Yeah.
You know?
You might
So,
have
like,
people thinking, do I have the shit knife?
Yeah.
Or do I have the good knife?
And then it's like, I'm putting down a specific set because I'm like, well, I'm hosting. I'll take the shit knife and the shit fucking fork.
Yeah.
But then they all look around and go, ours are the same and he's got the different ones.
Yeah.
Is
Right.
he the fucking Sultan of Brunei and needs his special fork and special knife?
Special 25-year-old wooden handle fucking blunt steak knife.
It's made of my grandfather's shin.
Yes. No, I know what you mean though. And oh my god, the plates and bowls situation is the exact same. I mean, I do not have. I mean, I think maybe I have 4 plates that are the same in a set, and then the rest is like 30 other assorted things. And cups, I would not have 2 that are the same.
We have with the plates, we've managed to get a stack that's the same size mostly, but they're from a couple of different sets. So they're the same size plate, but there's reds, blues, what have you. But that's only because I've separated those out. If you look just like 2 shelves up, there's just this fucking like recently designed fucking architecture artsy thing of just these jutted plates. Like, but they're all weird shapes, so you can't actually stack them biggest to smallest, just going up like a pyramid. Because
Are
that'll
you
leave
saying
like
they're a set or they're not a set?
No, this is the mishmash sitting at the top
yeah,
that I took out, so it looks like I have a set sitting down the bottom.
Right.
But man, not to call the boys out on this one, but going around to fucking John and Ted's and seeing that they've got a full fucking matching set of glasses.
Ooh.
You know,
They do have
I
a
would
lot
just-
of cups, actually. They're pushing 25, 30 cups.
yeah, all matching,
fucking
all with
guys.
that lovely Hungry Jack's design.
Are they actually HJ's cups now?
Yes.
Oh.
Every single one of those was a HJ's cup.
Really? It was like
Yeah.
a promo thing, and they just
Yeah, the tall, thin ones.
right. Well,
That whole set was HJ's cups.
that explains it.
But it's actually brilliant. It's like, that's a way you can eventually get a full set of something. Like, if I had the forethought back in the day,
Yeah.
where I could have like 40 cups in there that are just the Batman Forever glasses. Like the it etched one, or the Riddler one was real cool. Just getting a bunch of those. That'd be sick.
Do you remember the fucking McDonald's Coca-Cola cups? They were like ubiquitous in the mid.
Yeah, they still do
noughts.
those every now and again, but now the shapes aren't as good.
Yeah.
Like, even though it still
Is it-
looks like the same, like with a vase shape,
Right.
there's just something about it now where they're like thinner. At first they went thinner at the bottom, so it was like some weird. I know too much about the fucking Macca's cups.
We all do. We all do.
Like it sort of went thinner, like a Statue of Liberty style,
Yeah.
like holding up the flame. And then they were like, "Oh, we'll correct that by bringing the top in." But then I'm like, "Now it's too small.
Yeah.
It's not good enough glass."
You know how, like, on YouTube these days, you got a fucking weird little 30-minute doco about goddamn everything. And sometimes you open up your
Oh, of course.
YouTube feed and you're like, oh, some cunt's talking about, like, some particular Yu-Gi-Oh card or some shit from 100 years ago. And you're like, I got 30 minutes to spend on this.
I think our algorithms tend to drift. There's some people
Perhaps.
like ourselves that tend to go a little further into the internet than
Yeah, that's fair.
most
that's fair.
people.
But here's what I'm thinking, Jezza. We do the history of Australian fast food promotional glass cups. And that's like a 30 to 45 minute, breakdown over the years, the evolution.
We do the graphs next to each other. Like,
Yeah.
here's the sizes, here's the dimensions,
the
here's
weight,
the colors that
drop
were
test.
available.
Yeah. Buy a few offline.
Or we do the
online, rather.
expose of the McDonald's monopoly.
yeah, yeah.
We'll go on a serial style hunt to see if we can find anybody that won the major prizes. It's like, all right, let's see who got the Kia Sorrento. Let's see if we can figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, the fucking Macca's Monopoly. Man, that was so hype as a kid. I mean, what a cool idea.
Well, we didn't have a
Unfortunately, it's like
Macca's, so
always
that was a
fucking
problem.
frauded out. But yeah.
And KFC wasn't keen to match them in that particular regard. But I remember when we were at uni and it was more or less like a fucking, I don't know, bowl of mints, where it's just all of the tokens went in there and you just went, I'm hungry and poor. And you roll up, grab a couple of the snack wrap ones, small fries,
Hell yeah.
just rolling down. Or better yet, I remember being with like povos for our comedians and we're like opening our wallets and trying to figure out, can we feed everyone like enough using our tokens and shit?
Yeah.
Swapping with people in the restaurant so you can like, hey man, we just need like one more fries. Can we give you the sundae? Because we just
What's
becoming its own internal currency.
what about KFC? What could they launch to compete with Macca's Monopoly? Like what KFC cross promo with a board game are they going to?
Well, the problem is, isn't it Macca's that we're even switching? No, it was Hungry Jack's took Uno, which is very bizarre to me.
How the fuck did that work?
I think they just went like, these cards are worth this.
Oh.
And like your plus fours were better. It's like, why don't just say, like, they just wanted to put an Uno sticker on the outside,
Or you get a reverse card and you're checking out, and it's like, oh, that'll be $20. Can't give me 20.
Just somebody coming in because they're just tokens and just paying with just straight up Uno cards. And it's like, mate, mine's better because it's bigger. It's like Japanese Pokemon cards. They're worth more. Yeah, I don't know. What could we... Settlers of Catan. You got to put together like, yeah, I've got 8 wheat, so that gets me a Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, what are the rare ones? Do you have a rare resource or something that's like the
No,
fucking
I reckon
calf?
you
There's
gotta get
one sheep in
combos.
the whole country.
No. I think it's combos. So you're like, okay, I've got 3 wheat and a wood. So you can cash that in for like whatever it happens to be. And then that way it's like, oh, you need a red one to get these bits along the way. But if you hold on to 3 red ones and get 3 of this or whatever, then that's how you get the bigger prizes. So then it's not just, oh, you need to draw this, get the right one. It's like you got to get the right one a couple of times, get some of the other ones as well that are like the lower value, but you got to make sure you have enough.
I hear. Hey, I got one for you.
So instead of going, oh, I'm going to use you lots of attempts to get the prize, it's like you've got to do lots of attempts to build the prize.
Yeah, I hear. How about this? KFC Guess Who All right. So you fucking tear off the thing off the cup, and then if the person who served you looks like the fucking Guess Who sticker, then the shit is free.
Yeah, but then you just have cunts looking like me that looks like one card.
Yeah, you're the Kia. All
Yeah,
right?
I'm Harry.
Yeah. KFC does an intensive study. How many motherfuckers on staff have mustaches like this? All right, we've
Yeah.
got one located in North Melbourne. He's the Kia, all right? So just print that on 3 cups, and then hopefully, you know, only one of them hits your shift, and
Yeah.
we're off to the races.
I reckon it wouldn't even necessarily need to be the mustache. I think you just go in, get a Guess Who board, just have the staff line up and see who just lands on one of them. Because you look at anybody, you can just flick through. Like, you know, Guess Who's meant to cover most, I guess, white people's faces. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. Guess who might be a different game these days. Well,
I
at
don't
least-
know, because I don't think you could do that.
Yeah.
Because that's less politically correct. So if it's just like, is it one of the Asian ones? It's
Yeah.
like you can't ask that question and then be down to like 7
Yeah.
immediately.
Are you non-binary? Tick 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 tick. Whatever.
Actually, no, that'd be, are you non-binary? No. Well, I can't flick any of them down because I haven't asked any of these.
Hold on. I'm just gonna have a quick peek at Guess Who in 2024 here. Ooh, very diverse, I would say. I don't know. This is probably an online version, I suppose. There's like,
See, it just opens up too many avenues. I think they needed to go like The Simpsons,
yeah,
and it's just like everyone's a color. Just like
yeah.
they're all
That
yellow,
would be the way
everyone's
to do it for
blue.
sure. That would be the way to do it for sure. Here is what's
Like,
this?
actually,
3,
there you go.
6,
Guess
8.
Who's and beanies. That's what you need.
Yeah, yeah. Zumbinis Guess Who. Oh yeah, that might have been in Zumbinis, right? Anyway, yeah, 24
Let's
faces.
get on to Scholastic.
And I would say like 4 of them are white. Dude, you'd have to be like, to be good at Guess Who in 2024, you'd need to have an uncomfortable level of familiarity with racial theory or whatever the hell.
Nah, man, you just got to go the graphic design level.
Yeah.
You just have like the description by like the Dulux color chart. It's just, is your character eggshell white?
Have you ever seen, dude, okay, back to YouTube going down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Fucking professional Scrabble games. Anyway,
I've
it's
seen some of them where you're just like, it's not a word. It's not. I don't give a fuck what your book says.
yeah.
That's not a word.
See, I went in thinking it's going to be like a lot of like IX or fucking E whatever,
No.
T or some shit.
Nah, it's Lafangbit.
Yeah, exactly. The dudes are always banging out 7 and 8ers, and it's like, I've never
Have
heard
you
of
seen
that. What
that?
the fuck is
There's
going
this
on here?
dude who's like one of the champions, but he competes in like French, but he doesn't speak it.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, he just doesn't speak the language, but he's like, yeah, I've memorized the book.
Yeah, the
And
book,
now I
the
know all the
dictionary.
words. But, well, no, it'd be because there's like the Scrabble dictionary that's like, what's regulation? What are the god cards of Scrabble?
And also, I know it's not nice to make fun of people's appearance, but the fucking the goat,
But it's too
the
fun.
Scrabble goat, he looks like what you would imagine the Scrabble goat looks like.
Yeah,
You know,
he looks like the Wizard of Letters.
Yeah, like a fucking like Mormon guy who's like he'll have facial hair, but it'll be really really thin, but then like the neck beard part is like
Yeah.
giga long.
He
And,
looks. It looks like somebody who's been like rescued from a well, but who wanted to be there originally.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm searching up after this pod, Jezza, professional Guess Who. All right, what are the strats? How they
Ooh.
playing it? You know,
I don't know if it's got the
the competitive nature. Or the
no.
depth?
There's competitive nature in human beings, so it's absolutely anything could be a competition. Like even back at home, we used to throw rocks at other rocks, and then somebody would be the winner of that. You know, we like competing. So I reckon there's definitely like a way to be doing it, but I don't know if it's like, because I feel like it's got to latch on to like the Japanese or the German market, because we've been
All the
like,
Italians.
I haven't seen much Italian stuff. It doesn't come across the feed.
I'm just completing
like,
the
those are the
axis
ones
of
that get
evil
me.
here. Fucking World War II.
Oh. I just meant like they'll have the weirdest things as the thing they're competing at and attaching onto.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking about this when you were here, like the weird, like the German shows, like the cutting stuff perfectly in half show. I saw one that was like there's a train going around a track, and there's like a tube that's got like a series of things, and you've got to drop a marble.
Yeah.
And the whole competition is, can you drop the marble, time it properly to land it on the train? And I've never heard a more German fucking concept in my life.
Right.
Apart from seeing the awesome clips of competitive farming simulator. Oh man, you got to check that out. If not for nothing else, is
wait.
like if you've seen the League of Legends tournaments and stuff, the crowds have the same level of enthusiasm.
Hell yeah.
Like if somebody like team wipes another team, it's as good as somebody getting a perfect fucking cornering as they're grabbing the weed at the same time with the thresher and just missing each other. It's hectic. It gave me the same vibes finding that as when we were in Vietnam and we fucking started watching the darts. And the crowds for that just so fucking into it that it's great.
Dude, there are some sports that are definitely like invented just to drink beers, you know, and cricket is the number one of this.
Yep.
It's like,
actually, sorry, sweetheart, I need 4 days of a test match.
Yeah.
I'll be back in
and
like 4 days, and then I got to go to
draft,
work.
You know, I think darts is definitely one of those. I could not watch that sober, but I comfortably watch it after a few drinks.
Yeah, if there's a good game of darts going, just even at the pub, if there's two people that are actually really good at darts, it's the same as like if two people are really good at pool, you end up just wall leaning and watching them. It's just good fun.
Yeah.
And just lean into your mate and just goes, no chance he hits that.
Yeah.
He needs the 120. Nah, there's too much shit in the way. You know, it's fun. It's fun to pretend you know what you're talking about. Because, like, I find that, like, most sports, if you're sort of, well, more or less trapped there, you'll get into it. You start to see just what is the competition, what's the thing that I'm looking at. It's like when we started watching that guy who drops the marbles to race around the track, but narrates it like Formula One.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that shit.
That's great. Like, I'll just end up watching that.
Yeah.
I used to, when I was fucking 16, going out drinking, and you'd get home and just watch the lawn bowls at 3 a.m.
Right.
It's just like, let's see what Doris has got.
Well, you'll get a kick out of this, Jezza. So every year in Taiwan, and probably China does this too, right? But they have something called a Weiya, which is like end of year party, or Chunzhou, which is Weiya. But basically, it's like your Christmas party, right? I mean, it happens a month later, but whatever. It's the same vibe as an Australian or Western Christmas party.
Yeah.
And tradition is you give out big envelopes of cash, right? So you do some shit for cash prizes and whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe some physical prizes.
Red envelopes.
Red envelopes, exactly. You got it. And mine's coming up in 2 weeks. Of course, I'm organizing, whatever. So starting to stuff some cash into some envelopes.
Yeah, your workplace.
And how we've done this for years to decide who gets the cash is this game...
is going to be Smash Brothers again, isn't it?
No.
You want to get paid? Well, let's see what you can fucking do.
No. Smash
Big
is...
Jigglypuff, let's get you an extra
Smash is
$100.
pure bragging rights, which, to be honest, you can't put a price on. But no, we do. I think it's called Marbles on Stream. So I set it up.
Okay.
It was like big on Twitch
Hang on,
for a little
stream
while.
or on string?
On stream, yeah,
Okay.
like on Twitch.
Right.
And I mean, it's like a Steam game, right? But I can just import a list of names. So it's like everyone in the company, dump them in.
Yep.
Remove myself because I'm a gent, right? I wouldn't want to win the grand prize as the MC and the boss of the company, like fucking hell, the optics.
Yeah, if the trivia host wins the trivia, it's going to be a bit sus.
Yeah. You don't want to see your boss win a fucking stack of cash.
Yeah, or even it's bad enough with trivia when I've got mates running it, and we're like, yeah, let's go down, support my mates. We'll do the trivia. If we win, it's just like people giving us fucking daggers.
Yeah. Feels bad.
Yeah, he was giving you the answers. It's like he was walking around giving everyone the answers. It's called being a fucking host of trivia.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a virtual marble course with all this shit flying around and spinning and whatever.
Yeah.
And you import the list of names, everyone gets a marble, you hit go, and then like you literally just watch it, or you can pan around with the camera and stuff. So what I'm usually doing is I'm on the mic, like mouse and keyboard, following the leaders, flying around with the fucking camera. And just like shoutcasting, like, "Oh my god, ice coming up from behind!" Blah 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 blah. Just carried on like a fucking madman.
Perfect.
And and then the first like few marbles that make it to the end, they get the cash.
Works perfectly.
Yeah.
Although I will say, it seems like a lot of effort where you could just pull up the virtual fucking horse races they have in the TAB and just give everyone a fucking horse.
Well. Okay, here's a question for you. You might have already answered it, Jezza. Okay.
Yep.
Now, we've been doing marbles for years, and I do love my marbles, all right? I'm kind of wanting to explore other ways to virtually decide winners completely randomly, okay? And
See, that'd be my problem, is the horses always have the odds preset.
Right.
So you
well, the
would
thing
have
is...
to skew it. Well, that's easy. You just skew it depending on people's performance. If you've been a good employee, your work bonus is that you get 1 to 6 fucking horse over here.
That is not where I thought you were going with it. I thought you were going, hey, if the odds are fixed or whatever, you just randomly assign who gets what. It's still random, right?
Yeah. Because that's the same as like getting a random one that loses later. It's like you got a random one that is bad.
No, your response was very 21st century fucking management.
Yeah, no, I'm manipulating people.
I thought one that would be fucking cool is
That's such a brutal way to do work bonuses.
Yeah.
Imagine that. All right, your work bonus is the number of lottery tickets you get to win the bonus. Like there's one bonus, and everyone gets the odds to go in it. So it's like, what do you want? Regular payment, or are you going to go in on the lottery?
That could be a fun thing to give out for performance, sure. Or maybe not performance, but like being a team player or some other shit that, like, whatever is important.
Gold star, the equivalent of a gold star is
it's
one
like,
entry into the lottery.
In our Christmas party 10 months from now, I'll give you a second marble to win like a fucking 1,500 Aussie dollars or something. I think that's probably going to be our
there's
big
plenty
prize.
there's plenty of things around the offers where it'd be weird to just straight up offer people cash as the employer. It's like, we're paying you to work. This is part of your job, so it's weird to just give you money extra for that because we already are. But if it's like those kinds of things, people just putting in that extra bit of whatever, then it seems like the kind of reward that it'd be just like it's enough. It's kind of silly. People can get stuff out of it. People will appreciate it.
One that I would have loved to do, but I can't quite work it out because there's too many fucking people involved. I think it's also a Steam game. I believe it's called Epic Battle Simulator. So it's
like totally accurate battle simulator,
some shit like that, right? So it's like you could have a whole bunch of ridiculous different teams. Like, oh, this team's just fucking 4 trebuchets. This one's 100 archers. This one's like 3 Darth Vaders. Whatever.
Yeah, because it's just the usual setup. Because it's like different units cost different amounts.
Shit like that.
You've just got like the same value between the two players. You got to pick what you can make. All the computer ones are like preset.
Right. And then you just have them play out. But the other problem is, I think it's like 1v1, so it would take
it would take a very long time. But also, like, do you get to lay the board out yourself? Do you it'd be all right if in advance. I don't know if the game's got that, but if you had you could preset a field.
Well,
so it's like everybody has to submit. Like how you want your units to lay out. This would be fun for like a hang, I reckon. Like if we could sort this out when it's just like maybe like 6 or 7 of us. But I think for the workplace it might be a bit much.
I don't know. Now I'm developing the idea, okay? Because I think what you could do is
I don't know,
4v4.
man. You've already got the Smash tournament you're doing every year. You really want to get the battles?
Well, yeah, and this needs to be squeezed into like 10 minutes to have probably
Yeah.
50 battles in a round robin or some shit. I don't know. or
Although you could
or a
run them
bracket.
simultaneously, but either way.
Sure. But you did get me thinking, Jezza. I could just play all these on my computer, record them all, pre-record them all, stitch it up, and then on the night you just put the names on, right?
Yeah.
Or you walk in the door, draw out of a hat. Oh, I've got fucking 2 Panzer III tanks. That's who I am in this competition, right? Or someone pulls it out. It's like, I'm fucking 4,000 chickens. And then, like, later on, the chicken v tank battle will play. And you're like, oh, that's me, you know?
Yeah.
And, whatever. I think I'm going to look into this. Although,
It could work. As long as you could, just run it. Yeah.
oh, big
Leash it.
sneeze.
But again, I think that's got the same thing with the horse odds, where it's like part of the randomness isn't just whether you win or lose; it's how good your chances are in the final decision.
Yeah. Ah,
That could work.
horse.
I still think that's going to be a little too much going on.
Perhaps. But I'm going to check it out. I mean, you can just record them all, fast forward them, and then, for the... Oh,
Well, by that
no.
logic, why don't you do it where like you play against somebody else in a game of Mousetrap, and then just play that in fast forward? Like, what's the limitation then? It's like, surely the point at that point is to make it easier for you, you idiot. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to run out all of these sims, then fine.
Yeah.
You like your employees more than I would have liked mine.
Right,
but-
right.
You know, surely there's an easier way.
Mm.
I reckon there'd be a game out there somewhere on Steam where you can just generate a horse race.
Surely.
Have to be. Or like,
If not on
'cause
Steam, there'd be a Flash version of it for sure.
something, because like every basketball game that I watch on League Pass where they're showing the in-stadium entertainment, there's always one where it's like, oh, let's see who wins the car race, and they just assign each one. The car race plays out, like quote unquote car race, but it's just an animation of 3 cars overtaking each other enough that it's exciting, and then one of them's already predetermined to win.
Yeah,
But there's got to be something that just generates that shit.
I'm inspired. I'm going to mix it up this year.
Okay, no,
Yeah?
here's what you do. Here's what you
Alright.
do. You get what's that Subway game? You know, the one that people use to be the background of all their fucking Instagram reels.
Oh
Subway
my God.
Surfer?
Yeah, something
Okay.
runner.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you get that going.
Okay.
So you have one footage of that for every employee on the screen. And when it loses, that screen goes out. And it's just people watching their Subway Surfer fucking ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
The complete combination of current media. It'll work.
Well,
But that
we're a
does,
social
like-
media company, and that is big on social media, you know. So
Could be a way.
it kind of,
Or even just, there's got to be something like that where you can have like a screen of somebody just playing out. Like games of Tetris, like anything that is a single player sort of like viewing activity where you just see a screen that's got your name on it. And you're just hoping this invisible player that's actually just their boss
yeah.
is going to do well in this round. Honestly, you could just open like Tetris Plus or whatever the fuck that thing is and just start playing. Play enough rounds for each of your employees and just allocate them randomly, you know?
Oh man, this always happens, right? I've got a
Yeah.
whole event, a whole evening to organize. I also have
And
to cut a 30-minute video,
Yeah.
which fucking takes like a week or some shit. Like, because it's not like record 30 minutes of something happening. It's stitched together fucking 500 clips of different shit throughout the year.
Oh man, I did a sketch that literally is going to be a minute long. And I'm still fucking around.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll tell you what. I now have more respect for people who do YouTube than I did
Yeah.
a 4 or 5 year YouTube career, because it's like, man,
People
I had
doing
no idea
fucking
how
daily
long that shit
content.
takes. And it's never good enough. And you eventually just gotta, like, the deadline hits, or you're like, oh fucking, I'm sick of this. All right, just ship it, export. But you can just tweak and fiddle forever, right?
Absolutely.
And
Especially when like now we've got to get everything shorter and shorter. the temptation is to just keep cutting. And the problem with like trying to do something that's funny, you need a pause sometimes.
Yeah.
But that pause can often be long enough where people go, oh, I guess the awkward pause is the punchline, and then just fucking miss that fucking last couple seconds that you really actually needed them to.
Right.
Or at least that you wanted them to. Ow, what are you going to do? Easy. You can just keep making it and try to be funny. But at least I've set myself up like with the theme of the podcast and everything like that, where I don't mind if it looks kind of jerry-rigged, because ultimately it is.
And that's the theme of the show, you know?
Yeah. I like to think that it gives it like a relatable tinge. Where it's like, look at what you could do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this show's very relatable because it's
Got you on it.
it's got me on it. That's right.
It's easy to relate when you're the person involved.
Yeah. And and a bunch of Benalla dudes and Horsham dudes and even the Melbourne equivalent of Benalla. You're like, I grew up with these fucking dudes, you know?
Oh, yeah. Or at least, like, this is the dude, particularly in the city, there'll be one of us kinds of dudes in your crew. Doesn't matter what your crew is.
Yeah.
There'll be one random that's just like, yeah, my house was made of mud. Like, just someone from fucking out in the sticks. I'm probably going to pause it for 1 second at the actual thing, but I just need to pull up someone's name.
Sure. Can I take a piss real quick?
Yeah, go for that.
Be right back. This is where you play the intermission.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, first I let the smooth milk dissolve in my mouth.
I love to crush them. Crushing them between my teeth.
All right, we're back. So, I want to give you this, Mib. Just, I can't remember where this would slip in, but it'd be probably here. I had probably the most embarrassing injury I've had in quite a while.
Dick?
You know, because like sometimes you get the one where, no. That's not embarrassing. That'd be funny.
True.
Or I'd be up to something worth bragging about. You know, it's
True.
A dick injury is fine. Especially at someone doing comedy. It's like, that's
Gold.
fucking low-hanging fruit that's just come my way. If I walk up on there and I go, my dick is now 90 degrees in the middle. It's, just fucking Barry Awards. Barry.
Yeah.
No,
You're like, I haven't even got to the punchline and I'm getting fucking laughs.
that's it. If you're just like, now I got an Allen key down there. I can use I can use my dick to put together IKEA furniture. It's my dick's called the Schronken. It's and it just
The shit right.
you just roll with it. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, go on.
But yeah, so each step of it just seems to get more embarrassing because it's like, okay, so I injured my foot at cricket, so already very low impact sport. But then just to add on, it was D grade cricket, and just to add on again, it was D grade cricket training.
In Rezzies.
The Rezzies like I and the
And you were
captain,
benched.
Me and the captain are sharing darts throughout training. Like, that's the level we're at, and here I am going, I've fucking sprained my foot and have to go home.
What were you doing to sprain it? Taking
Literally,
a leaping grab?
I'd bowled the ball. It had been like hit and then rolled back to me. I picked it up, and then the next guy was coming to bowl. So I decided I'm going to jog to get out of the nets a bit quicker. And fucking down I go. Just as soon as I like pushed off my toes on my left foot, I was getting out of the way, and not even from like a dangerous ball, just someone was looking to run.
I hate that shit about getting old. I mean, we're just peaked over 30, and already, like, sometimes I'll be just walking along and just the fucking foot will land funny and do some like weird hobble thing, and you just get some immediate
I don't know.
appreciation.
I've always had that.
Yeah.
The difference is like I've always had that as like growing up. I just don't look down.
Right.
Well, I
The
used
thing
to
is-
like there was a weird thing where I'd either be looking straight at the ground or fucking away in the sun. So I've always been stacking like that.
Right.
But I think it's just, now I have more of an understanding of what that means. And also the 30 thing really comes in terms of like how well you can manage the stack.
That's what I was gonna say. The
The stack's
recovery-
always there, but
Yeah,
now I
yeah, yeah.
panic because this could kill me.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least
for
I'm
sure.
going to feel it and be aware of the consequences. It's like, a snapped leg doesn't mean a few weeks off school.
Yeah. No. You still got to go to school, or else you don't fucking eat. You know.
You still got to go to school. You still got to fucking walk the dog.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just being fucking cruel.
Yeah. Well, do
like,
you
nah, I
remember?
can't-
I broke my fucking fibula, dude. Like down by the ankle, playing laser tag. Was just running along
Oh,
and
yeah.
put my fucking foot down like mid-charge, just put it down sideways, and then my whole
Yeah.
body weight just pushed the foot inwards, right?
Yeah.
I heard a loud pop, and I was like, "Ooh!" I'd
See,
never
that-
had a broken bone. I was like, "That's probably what a breaking bone sounds like." Knew it immediately.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
break sound isn't as bad as the like twisting sound. Like, because I got my wisdom teeth out while I was awake, but was like numb, and the sound of the teeth getting
Oh.
like twisted and pulled out, it sounds like the sound effects they use for the Ents in Lord of the Rings, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound of the trees walking.
Right.
It feels that it's like a
Yeah.
tendony, strappy. It's fuck.
Yeah.
And it was that thing where like I'm sitting there and just going like, this noise is like right now I'm dealing with it because you're in the chair, you're getting fucking done, you don't want to be moving, but just consciously thinking to myself, I'm gonna be horrified by this later.
What's
like,
also
ah.
horrifying is that sound represents $2,000 fucking dollars snapping out of your wallet as well. You know, you're like, this is the least fun I've had with 2K ever. You know.
I get a good chunk of it out. Work does cover, like there is dental included in that, but it's like 1,000 of that maybe.
Oh.
And then if you do it anything else again that year, they're like, your thousand's gone. It heard it gone. Hang on.
Yeah.
My dog's screaming about something, but it's not going to be anyone breaking in.
Anyway, so recommendations for the pod. Let's review real quick. Don't
Mm-hmm.
break bones. Do smoke
I don't know,
curries while playing cricket.
Some breaking bones. I don't know. I reckon. Nah, actually, those are all. I was just thinking, I'm like, there could be reasons, but they're the same as the fucking get a week off school thing. They're adult versions, but it's that.
Well, what sucks ass is our fucking jobs. We can do them at home. So, like,
Yeah.
no sympathy from the workplace when it's like, oh, I can't walk. It's like, motherfucker, have you ever walked? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, however you were planning to hobble to food, you can stop halfway and be at your fucking desk.
Yeah. The boss would be like, "Bro, you could be in a fucking wheelchair and I wouldn't know."
Man, I've at least one, possibly two bouts of COVID. Keep working.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not wasting leave to be at home when I'm at home anyway. It's like, fuck it, I'll write it out so that I'm fine for my days off.
Hear that. Is COVID still getting around? People still get that shit? Oh,
Yeah, but it also just seems like something people just drop now.
Yeah.
Like they go, oh, I had these symptoms, and it's like, I probably had COVID. I think people have like assumed that the mutations of it have gone on and on and on, that it can now just look like anything. So anything that you don't know what it is, it's not a cold anymore. It's COVID. And then especially if it's something like, oh, my legs have been aching, it's like COVID.
Yeah.
It's definitely, not the fact that I was walking 10 kilometers in the fucking rain
Right.
and now I've just got a chest infection and sore legs. It's like, oh no, I have COVID.
Well, here's to the next COVID. I mean, people threaten another bird flu or some bullshit. I don't know, whatever.
I heard one of those, but then again, people thought foot and mouth was coming back for a while there.
Yeah, well. What are we going to do? Jezza?
Ah, Christ knows.
Yeah.
Just keep putting along and seeing what everybody else does. See what the trend is, and then sell advertising for it.
That's what I do.
Now, the thing I was trying to remember before the break I got to give a shout out to Jimmy Evans. I hope he doesn't mind me putting his name out. But he hit me up, must have been like a couple of weeks ago or last week. And, gave a shout out for liking the pod, which is always very lovely of people
Jimmy Evans,
to
super
hit me up out of
fan.
no one.
On you, Jimmy. On ya.
But Jimmy's given me some hope. So my last source for our Who Dares Wins episode sort of dried up in that it was people who watched it in the middle of the night that were just getting baked the entire time. So it's like the communication lines are delayed, We got to wait for the donkey to get to and fro back to LA and back. So it's like, if it happens at all, it's going to be down the track and we'll see how it goes. But Jimmy's hit me up and apparently he's going to a lot more Rabbitohs games this year.
Okay.
And apparently Mr. Mike Whitney is a frequenter of the members area of the Rabbitohs games.
Okay.
So Jimmy has let me know that he's going to see if he can bump into the gentleman, see if he can possibly get me a little...
An intro.
little impromptu, maybe a little vid or something like that. But also, he's said he's going to inquire about how can we get those fucking episodes as well.
Well, if you're listening, Jimmy, you can just casually drop that Jezza and I have a very interesting business opportunity for Mike Whitney. Now, that opportunity might be a
If
few
he's doing
$100
random
cash to come on the
podcasts
pod.
now out of nowhere,
Yeah.
$50 an app is going to tickle Mike Whitney's fancy.
Dude, I mean, post-inflation, 50, it just ain't what it used to be. Mike used to give people like a week shopping, and now it's like 2
that
tubs
was
of ice
dinner
cream.
for the
Fucking-
family is what you just gave people. It's
Yeah.
like not just you at a restaurant. One person, 2 drinks,
Yeah.
$60 a pop. So yeah, anybody else who's still trying to, or anybody
Rabbitohs
else who
games,
finds and get those episodes on their own, get in quick because Jimmy may end up setting us up with a direct line to the man himself.
Oh my god.
Touch
Jimmy,
wood.
if you can hook up this connect, maybe he can join us on the episode. That's the fucking reward. All right?
Look, considering
He's a true
the
believer.
quality and viewership of the last actual podcast he went on, I don't think we're necessarily going to get him to jump on this. But if we pretend that there was never an offer for the individual episodes
Yeah.
and just offer him $5,000 to do the episode,
Well,
well, by that point we go, well,
the thing is,
I reckon you can get him for like actual bookings for people with the
Yeah.
podcast, couple $100.
that $5,000, $50 for 100 episodes, because there was about 100. I saw that as an investment in our content
Because you
future,
want the
Jeremy.
episodes.
I mean, that's an easy 100 episode podcast, all right? Think of the
Yeah.
returns we can get on that ad revenue in the fucking dozens of dollars and claw back some of that 5K.
You're right. Whereas if we drop it all on Mike Whitney, it's a dice roll as to whether or not we can even get the episode still.
Sure. Although Mike's probably got a pretty good return. If he spreads it on his socials, we might have to work in a bit of a deal,
But that's the thing, like you'll book high name comedians and things like that, and it's like a couple $100 because it's you're not putting all like your content out, You're not a comic getting up onto somebody's podcast and just essentially burning all of your gear on there.
Yeah.
It's a lot more casual where you just have the chat, have a this, that, and the other. So you don't necessarily have to pay people stage costs. Me, I just get them in for free and use pity. But you do what you can. But if this was actually making money, you'd sling people money. But essentially, yeah, if you're getting paid a couple $100 when you go on stage, it's not unreasonable to be asking for it here.
Right.
Especially because if he was charging, like, say, $50 for a cameo video that's a minute long or whatever, if it's like, hey, come here or dial into this and chat for an hour,
$500, I can see that.
yeah, it's you could easily see somebody asking for that, especially because it's Mike fucking Whitney. So
Right.
part of me would still, like, as part of the bargaining, he'd already be in my own head going, I mean, it's Mike Whitney. Like, there's something.
And look, I mean, huge legacy with cricket and whatnot. Also, Who Dares Wins is a big part of his legacy. And Jezza, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you and I might be the number one people upkeeping the Who Dares Win legacy. I mean, it's
I've
out there in
seen-
pop culture. Most people know it, but who's actually
You
on the
say-
front lines with us?
You say
teaching the
people
next
know it. There
generation.
is definitely a very hard cutoff point in terms of age as to who's seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, but then because when I was kicking around at PAX, it's like a couple people knew what it was.
That is a crime. This is how we
That is
sell
a
it to
younger
Mike,
demographic,
alright?
though.
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Whitney. We should call him Mr. Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sir Mike.
I think it's okay if you go the full name
Fair enough.
because I'm Mike Whitney is the introduction at the start
Yeah.
of the show. So I wouldn't feel bad. He's one of those people. The names are tied together. Even if you're on set there, if somebody goes, "Hey, Mike,"
You just...
who the fuck is that? Like,
What did you fucking call me?
no, not even him calling it. I mean, it'd be like if somebody else says, "Oh, Mike's coming," I'd go, "Who fucking cares?" Like, I just wouldn't register that it's Mike Whitney unless you say Mike Whitney. It's like when you're talking about somebody from high school and you've got to go first and last name because that's how you remember them now.
Right.
But yeah, I reckon we should probably wrap it up there, man. So yeah, keep hunting the episodes down. Thanks again to Jimmy. We're going to see how that pans out.
Thanks, Jimmy.
No pressure, but absolute pressure. Absolutely.
Also, did you see
Like-
this?
Ah,
Oh,
Christ.
yeah, boy. Straight out of China.
Gotta get
Got
the
him.
Vegemite.
They got him.
Did you get that printed or is that actually quote unquote legit merch?
Well, it's definitely not legit merch, but I didn't print it. Someone else did. I bought it off like the Taiwanese Temu, basically.
Ah, yep.
Yeah.
That's a very surprising thing to actually turn up in that store.
Yeah, well, they got him in big boy size
still-
for me.
Man, I should just mention about this with Christmas as well. So I handed you your present, and just the moment where you like felt that it was a clothing thing,
Yeah.
and you've given me the I think I know what this is, and then we're mentioning you thought it was a Who Dares Wins one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then open it and it's not. I felt like such a cunt because I just didn't think of that.
No.
And instead, this is the bad boy I got you.
I love
tie-dye,
this though, Jezza.
Picture of Scooby Doo, munchies underneath.
It's
So bad.
it's way too big, but I dig it. I dig it because it's fucking freezing here right now. So no, it's getting a lot of wear. What's funny is I asked my fiance, I was like, do you think it's okay to wear this around your family for Chinese New Year?
Yeah.
She was like, why wouldn't it be? And I'm like, because it's tie-dye, it's Scooby-Doo, it's the word munchies. This shit just reads like fucking 420 marijuana to basically 80% of the planet. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, if she didn't realize that, I doubt her parents would have. So you probably could have been fine. But all it takes is one cousin to mention something, and you're going to get domino effect down the family.
Yeah.
And once you lose the aunties, you've lost the crowd.
No, that's it. I mean, I'll tell you what, marijuana gets a very different reception in the East. Very
and
different.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah. But I did wear it around for 3 days. No one gave a shit. And even riding
be
a
honest-
scooter around, which, like, I don't have a license, just illegally riding a scooter in fucking tie-dye. Please just don't bat an eye, whatever. So,
See, I'm glad it's like it did end up being the bit bigger because there's nothing better than having a jumper where you can put another hoodie underneath first. Like you can go on its own. You got a nice, comfy, baggy one, but if you got something, you can go fuck it. I'm gonna double layer this
Yeah.
without having the hood on top.
Mm.
I hate having. Yeah. I
All
find
right.
it weird, like those. I'm rambling now, but like I've had a couple of jackets that have the double hood as part of the single jacket.
Double hood. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know, look like it's meant to look like a denim jacket with a hoodie underneath,
Right.
and they'll be joined together though. So there's like a
I know what
hoodie
you're talking
hood and then the other hood.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
it's
feel like shit like
either-
this was everywhere like 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very weird one where they're like, well, everyone loves hoodies, so we'll half hoodie everything.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do have that Canadian hoodie that's like cut off to the shoulders. And it's so fucking comfy. I originally bought it as like, Yeah, this is
Sure.
the dumbest pizza merch. I'll give it to
T-shirt
Dad
hoodie.
as a joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
except it's like slightly angled, so it's a little more tank toppy. I'm like, I'll give this to Dad as my like joke gift from Canada, and then I got back. I'm like, fuck him, I'm keeping it
Yeah.
because I wore it as a joke for a couple of times when I was over there,
Uh-huh.
and it was also the middle of a heat wave. So it's like, yeah, I'll chuck this on. And I'm like, this is actually really comfy, and you can just like wear it as a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Alrighty.
I like finding a new shape of clothing that I'm into. Alrighty, babe. Do you have anything you'd like to plug here at the end?
Oh, not really. Just if you're looking to market any products on YouTube or social media, I'm your guy. Just Google Creator DB Delta Bravo. You'll find me on Google somewhere.
Or you can hit me up at TechieWeppy on Instagram for anything to do with the podcast. Or you can hit Mobes up via me. Then I get the finder's fee. And then we can pass everything up.
That's it. And I'm Noah
all
Moby,
about-
MOBI on Instagram too.
It's all about weaseling that cash out of every process.
Why not? Why not?
Every middleman is me making money.
Yeah.
He says on his free show that he keeps sinking time into.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. So thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it as always. Jumping in with the time zone delay and everything. And thanks you guys very much for listening. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.